But finals are a big deal. Finals are a big deal. They are a time where you can be stressed out. You can have some anxiety. I get it. Some people are not good at test taking. I was one of those people. But there are some things you can do to try to get an edge. All right? I'm not here to tell you the answers to your finals today. That is not my purpose. But I want to tell you about how you can prepare. Because the old quote from Ben Franklin, you're either preparing to succeed or preparing to fail, is so true. And in school terms, it could be that real. Like you're preparing to pass the class or you're preparing to fail the class. You are doing one or the other. No one prepares to just get by. You're preparing to do one or the other. So how do we do that? How do we do that? And I got some things I want to tell you about today that I think will help you as you get ready for your finals. All right, so hopefully this is not you. You're not Hermione. You're not blowing your head up, excited for finals. Take it one day at a time. Your time is here. We're ready to go. Got some quick tips. Remember, do it once. Do it right. Get it over with. There was a guy talking about, he's a CPA, accounting type firm. You do it right, you do it once, and then you get it over with. Okay, maybe that's the attitude you want to take to your finals a little bit. I'm going to do that one final tomorrow, finals tomorrow. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to prepare for it the right way. Hey, and then I'm done. I'm not going to have to worry about it because you can't spend Thursday and Friday worrying about your finals tomorrow, first and 6th hour. So do it once, do it right, get it over with. General Colin Powell, pretty successful, famous person. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation and working and learning from failure. So over the course of the semester, you've figured out a little bit how to work hard, how to fail. You've probably had some assignments where you haven't done too well. Okay? But if you learn through those, it's going to be beneficial for you in the next couple days. So success is no accident. It's the result of preparation and the result of work and the result of effort. That's going to help you in these next 3 days. All right? Albert Einstein, pretty smart dude, I think. I think had a little bit of knowledge to him. Some might say he was kind of smart. What do you think, Louise? Kind of smart? Yeah. Okay. It's not that I'm so smart, he said. It's just that I stay with problems longer. That's going to be real for you in the next couple of days. When you get that question on the exam, question 57, and you're like, I am tired of this exam right now. I so want this to be done. And you see it, and you read it, and it's like, this problem is like hieroglyphics. It's like me trying to read Zach's Korean. Like, I don't know what it is, how it makes sense. I don't know how I'm going to get the answer. You're going to be confronted with some of those problems tomorrow, even if you study really hard. The way you can succeed on finals and in life is by sticking with those problems just a little bit longer. By not walking up to the problem and giving up at the first set of difficulty. That's called persistence. Okay? And you need to develop a little bit of that in you. You can't just give up as soon as that question comes up that's like, I don't know. You can't give up that easily. You have to try to work through it. Maybe you circle around and come back to it quite a few questions later. Maybe you try to read it differently. You slow it down. You read through each answer and think, would this logically be the answer to the question? Don't give up on those questions easy. Okay, one of the smartest people ever to live said that's why he succeeded. It wasn't that he was so naturally intelligent. He just stuck with the problems a little bit longer than everyone else was willing to solve it. Okay, so that'll be you. And then finally, the recipe for success. It's not that hard. Study while others are sleeping. Work while others are loafing. Prepare while others are playing, and dream while others are wishing. That's going to be a good recipe for success for you. You got to be willing to study and work a little bit while others are willing to play Fortnite tonight. You got to be seriously. You got to be willing to put away the phone and say, hey, for the next 20, 25 minutes, I'm going to study and go over my study guides. You got to be willing to say, you know what? While other people are wishing for success for finals, wishing for that job, I'm going to start dreaming it and then putting action behind my dream. So there's no illusion here. It's prepare while others are staying back. Work while others aren't working. So you have to be willing to do that the next couple days. You're going to have all 2 weeks of break to recover, if you will, okay? Don't give up 3 days here because you want to do what you want to do and then get results that you're not happy with, okay? Prepare for it. So what can you do? I was thinking, brainstorming, here's some tips I would give you for final exam study reminders. One, your preparation is a choice. It is. You can choose how you're going to use your time. You're going to choose, am I going to study or am I not going to study tonight? How long am I going to study for? Am I going to study for 5 minutes and then stop? Or am I going to push on for 15, 20, 25 minutes and then give myself a break? It's your choice. Yes, some of you work. Some of you might have a game or a match tonight. Obviously, that limits maybe your time you have. But you still have a choice to use the time you have after 3:15 until our exam tomorrow, first exam tomorrow, to study, to prepare yourself. So make sure you make the choice and decisions that enable you to be the best prepared for tomorrow and this week's finals. Second, do the study guides. Those are answers for you. Like the teacher, hint, hint, the teacher is giving you the answers. No, they aren't telling you what order it's going to be on the test or final, but they're giving you the answers. Do the study guides because that helps you work through those problems. Maybe you're the person that says, hey, I can read through all my notes, I can look back at all the presentations and then just remember it that way. So maybe if that's you, then do it, but the study guides are great because it helps you work through seeing a problem and figuring out an answer. And that'll help you when you're on a final, because on a final, you don't just read off a presentation, you don't just read notes. It's having a question, figuring out the answer. That is your best practice for the final exam. 3, partner up. Don't always try to do it alone and by yourself. Okay, that's hard to do. And sometimes I know it's getting out of our comfort zone to ask somebody for help or assistance, but you might need that. So partner up, ask them questions. If you have somebody or multiple people you can work with and study through with, now you ask them questions. Hey, how do you do this? How did you come up with this answer? What was that one thing that the teacher went over last week? Ask them questions, and through those questions, you will get answers, and you will try to figure out what the answer to the solution of the problem is. 2, explain it out. If you can explain it, you got it. That is the best way to know that you've learned something, if you can teach it to somebody else. So maybe you grab a classmate that's in your class, or maybe you grab somebody that's not in your class. You say, all right, Josh, I'm going to tell you how to solve this equation. Josh is like, I'm not in that math. I don't want to know that math. No, Josh, sit down. I'm going to tell you how you solve this equation if you ever find it in the future. Because by you explaining it to Josh, now you got it. You can teach it. You understand it. Okay? And then a third method is read it. Read it in notes. Read it in a study guide. Write it out, because now you're putting, studies show if you write things out, you remember it better. And then say it. So read it, write it out, and then say it, verbalize it. So you're using all your senses, all your learning methods to try to figure those answers out. So that might help you remember some things better. 4th, schedule times. It's a choice. Going back to the choice. So schedule times for yourself, because if you just say, I'm going to study later, I'm going to do it later tonight, I'm going to do it after I get off work, I'm going to do it when I get home from this or that, guess what will happen? You'll wake up tomorrow and say, oh, I forgot to study. So schedule a time for yourself. If you're like, I get done with work at 9, I don't know if that's the case, but I get done at work at 9, I'm going to get home, I'm going to have a nice snack for myself, I'm going to sit up in my room or at my desk or at the kitchen table, and I'm going to study starting at 9:30 tonight. I'll set a reminder for myself. I'll set an alarm. Schedule the times out for yourself, because then that holds you accountable. If you have nothing to be held accountable to, you won't do it. So if by setting an alarm, setting a reminder, by telling somebody, hey, let's meet up and study over Skype or over the phone or in person at this time, now you are accountable to somebody, which will make you better when you're taking these finals. You got to commit all in, not half in, not 1 foot in. You have to commit with both feet in. If you don't, you're going to reap so-so results. You're going to hope that you do well in studying. Then develop your work to rest ratio. When you set a time for yourself, you can't just go. I'm not here to advocate studying for 5 hours. No way. That is not beneficial. I think that would be more detrimental than helpful to you. Develop a work to rest ratio. Just like if you're working out, you work for a certain period, you get a rest for a certain period. Same thing with your studying. Say I'm gonna study for 25 minutes, and then I'm gonna give myself 5 to 10 minutes off. Like I'll go back to watching when I was watching. I'll play on my phone a little bit. I'll play a game of a little bit of video games. So develop a work to rest ratio. That allows you to not feel like you're bogged down so much and you're overwhelmed with all the studying. Okay, whatever that is for you. I do not suggest though a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning I study for 20 minutes, I play for 20 minutes. Okay, your work ratio needs to be your work time needs to be more than your rest time. Okay, but you need to have both. Don't just study for 3 hours, because you won't study for 3 hours. You'll pull out the phone, you'll get distracted. Work hard for a certain period of time, give yourself time off. Fifth, use notes, past tests, quizzes, presentations, use all that stuff, especially if you aren't very knowledgeable in that area. Okay, remember I didn't do well on this test. Okay, go back and look at it. Doesn't mean you look back at all 12 tests you took over the course of the semester. Maybe you look at the 1 or 2 that you didn't do really well on. Okay, and use those to help you. Because again, you can't study everything. Yeah, no one's expecting you to study everything you did from day 1 until today. That's impossible. And if you don't know it by now, you probably won't miraculously know everything in the next 24 hours. But you can look at some of the low points, some of the failures you had, the bad tests you had, and use that because you want to fix those answers. You don't want to do bad on those things twice. 6, turn off the TV, phone, music. It's hard, I get it, but you have to eliminate distractions from yourself. Again, if you give yourself some play ratio, some work to rest ratio, you'll get it back. Okay, but if you keep it right next to you, what's the tendency? You're going to grab it, and then you're going to go from trying to study to more every 3 seconds, pulling it over. That is so easy. Some of the best times I've actually worked is when I totally forgot to bring my phone out with me to my desk at home. And I accidentally left it in the kitchen, on the kitchen counter, and I realized, wait, I didn't even have my phone. No wonder I was working so well for the last 45 minutes. So I leave it maybe on the spot, put it underneath your pillow. Do something where you can't get to it for just a certain period of time. But you got to eliminate that. For some of you, I know you might like music in the background. That is okay. Make sure you have music that is helpful to you. If you have, Screamo and you got, you got little Uzi Vert going in the background, and you're spending more time singing to it and dancing to it, that's not going to help you study. Classical music has been shown and proven in studies to help memory, okay, and help you understand things and study better. So maybe you play some of that music in the background while you're studying, okay? But be very careful making music, videos, TV, and your phone a distraction, all right? Be very, very careful of that. 7, take care of yourself. And you have to perform. Even though you're trying to take a test, your brain needs to perform at its best. Your body needs to be feeling at its best. If it's not feeling good, you think you're really going to do well on a final exam, even though you think you know well? Of course not. So take care of yourself. Okay? Make sure you're getting to sleep. There's been studies that have proven cardio before, over the course of a day, has improved memory. So maybe you go for a nice run tonight. Maybe you go do some physical exercise. That helps boost your memory. Again, if you're looking for any little edge, that might be it. Okay? It's just a way to engage your brain, and you don't have to think about things for a while. You just go, and you retain a little more. There's more in-depth. There's like a long research paper about it. I figured I would not put that on here, but you got to take my word for it. Physical activity, running, cardio, getting your heart rate up can help boost your memory a little bit. 8th, get organized. Don't be disorganized. If you're organized, you're more likely to be successful. You're more likely to walk into that exam room tomorrow and be like, I'm ready to go. So if there's stuff you got to turn in, study guides you got to turn in. If there's anything that you need for tomorrow, have it organized and ready to go tonight. Don't try to scramble tomorrow morning because your mind's already going to be like, oh, today's the start of finals, Have it ready to go tonight.
Charge your computer.
Yes, be organized.
That's one of
If you want to have it charging while it's in your backpack, so all you got to do tomorrow morning is take it out of the outlet, put it in your bag and go. That would be smart. Don't try to scramble tomorrow. There will be people who are not organized for tomorrow, and then they'll be worried more about the disorganization than taking the exam. And then, if your mind can't be in 9 places at once. You want your mind ready for the exam. 9th, prioritize. Prioritize what you need to get done. Maybe you got one exam that you really need to pass more than the other. Well, obviously then you need to put more time in that one class. Maybe you again need to put more time in this area to study rather than the rest of them because you failed at this assignment over the course of the semester big time. So prioritize what you need to get done. Evaluate those things. And then time to reward yourself. You have to. You have to reward yourself. You can't just expect yourself to go without some reward. So maybe you say, hey, if I work for 25 minutes, I get myself a snack. I bought something. I have a bang ready to go. If I study for this period of time, I get another bang. And that might get you through the studying period. Like you have in the back of your mind, this is my reward. I get to watch this show or whatever it is. Seriously, have a reward for yourself. Yeah.
Just chewing mint gum, like how you.
I have heard of that.
That's what
I saw it.
I've done it.
Because
before.
you're
Practice that.
But then if you chew gum while you're studying, make sure you chew gum while you're taking the exam because
Yeah,
that
that's
can trigger things. Yeah.
It's what my 6-hour teacher does. He gives everybody mints if they want one.
Yeah. Smart. There's just maybe something about that triggers your memory, your brain a little bit. So reward yourself. Have those rewards built in because that'll keep you working. That'll keep you studying. If you don't have a reward, eventually you're just going to get to the point where like, I'm done with this. Why am I dealing with this? I know I should be working hard for the good grade, but I need that reward to keep me going tonight. So figure out a reward for yourself for certain periods of time, okay? Here's some good methods. The Pomodoro technique. So one, you plan and prioritize how you're going to study, what you're going to study. Then you set your timer to 25 minutes. Watch your phone and set it to 25. Start working and work and study for those 25 minutes. Just 25 minutes. And then when it goes off, give yourself a 5-minute break. Do that 4 times and then take an even longer break. Take like a 45-minute break. Okay? So that way you're working in short increments. You're not making yourself go for long periods of time. 25 minutes. But 25 minutes of dedicated study time and work. And then you get your rest. So maybe that is something that works for you. Okay? In Michigan, I want you to remind yourself, manage your time. Because you have to manage your time. I'm not saying you have 9 hours of study. I'm not saying as soon as school ends today, you have the rest of the afternoon and evening to study. You might have work. You might have things you got to do, in life. So what are you going to do with the time you do have to study? Okay? Join the study group. They again remind you to treat yourself as well. Here's 5 things I would suggest for you when you're getting ready for final exam day. The day is there. Make sure you get sleep. That's something you can easily control. A recent study found that people who got at least 8 hours of sleep the night before, who were taking math tests, were 3 times more likely to figure out the answers to the test and figure out problems than those people who stayed up all night. Sleep is something that you can control. You have control over. So make sure you get your sleep. You have plenty of time over the course of Christmas break to stay up late or sleep in. You do. So use the time, use these extra days, and don't throw away your opportunity to sleep and rest. Because if you aren't physically rested, you won't perform well on your exam. 2, positive imagery. The U.S. Olympic bobsled team did this with all their group members weeks and months prior to the Olympics. They visually would go through every little situation and scenario. They would go through every turn and say, hey, on the 3rd turn here, I'm going to do this with my right arm. I'm going to grab this clutch. I'm going to do this. I'm going to shift my head over 2-3 degrees. Like they went through every little positive imagery in their head. So that way when it actually happened, they had gone through it many, many times. So have positive imagery of how things are going to go. You're walking out into that classroom ready to go. You see a confident look on your face. You can see yourself handing in that exam or turning in the exam and hitting the submit button and saying, I did really well. If you have that positive imagery in your head, you can trick your mind a little bit to being more focused, to accomplishing more. If you have a negative mindset of, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, what are you going to do? I'm going to fail. Same thing like when you're going to hit. Like if you tell yourself, I'm going to strike out, there's no way I can catch up.
Do that in softball.
What you're probably going to do, you're going to miss. You're going to be late on the fastball. So you have to give yourself some positive reinforcement. Okay? 3rd, it's an easy one, but it's very hard for some people. Get to class. Over these final days, don't waste time in the hallways hanging around with friends. If it's exam hour, get to the class. Get there early. It allows you a couple extra minutes to sit down and prepare yourself. Maybe you have a chance to look over some notes for the last second study. But get to class, especially for the study of the final exam hours. Okay? you're wasting time in the hallway, that's taking you away from what your next job is, which is to knock that test out and crush it. Okay, so get to class. Don't waste time there. That's something that you can't control. All right. Fourth, eat right. Have yourself a snack that's ready to go. Maybe a granola bar, some fruit, a drink. Okay, something that can maybe give you a little bit of energy before you take your finals. All right, obviously you have lunch here, but maybe you need something in the morning before you come here to school, or in the afternoon to get you ready for your last exam. All right, yeah.
One of the best things to eat in the morning is actually oatmeal because it takes the longest to
Yep,
digest.
yep. That's oatmeal is always good. I would always have that a lot in the morning. So it's something easy you can prepare yourself, but have that stuff ready to go. Don't scramble with it. If you want to go to the store tonight, hey, go get stuff for the next couple of days so that way you're ready to go. And again, if you eat right, that allows your body and your brain to perform at its best. Okay, so get some brain fuel. Also stay hydrated.
Yeah.
So also stay hydrated. You don't want water. Yeah, and you get hydrated the night before. The night before. By the time you already are not feeling well, by the time you're already dehydrated and you're feeling it, you've been actually dehydrated for hours, they say. So it's not when you start feeling dehydrated, you've already been dehydrated for hours. Okay, your body's just now feeling it, sensing it. Okay, so eating right is super important for your final exam prep these next couple of days. That allows you to perform your best. And then the last one, again, it's very controllable. Like all of these are controllable by you. Come prepared. Have your bag ready to go the night before. If you're prepared and you're ready to go, things are organized well, you're going to do a lot better than if you are disorganized and, oh, I forgot this, I didn't have this ready, I forgot my pencils, I forgot my charger. Have it prepared the night before. Do it. It's a subtle thing, it's a small thing, but it could make a world of difference. Again, you don't want your brain going in 3 different ways, thinking about this and thinking about that and what you forgot and what you didn't grab in the morning when you left home. Have it prepared. And do that tonight. Maybe you got to create a list today of stuff you need to prepare for yourself before you go to bed tonight. Do that. It'll be well worth it. Hope is not a strategy. These things are all controllable by you. I'm going to show you a short film here in a second that hopefully instills some of these points of preparation, putting together some work and relying on hard work and not just what you did in the past. Because yes, I get it. These 3 days can be stressful. Okay, and I want to be here for you. But you have the ability to control your destiny a little bit. Okay? Watch the short film and let me know what you think. Okay? Good reminder, don't leave any doubt. Don't leave any doubt. Prepare to succeed, to be at your best. Okay? Don't prepare with it's either I get 100 or nothing. That's not what we're looking at. But prepare. Put together and put forth some effort. And good things will happen because of that. Okay, but that's the most important thing. Too often it's like, well, I'm gonna fail this exam so we don't try. Life is about working hard, putting forth effort, and some of those intangibles that you need to have, that internal drive and motivation to succeed. At the end of the day, the grade will be what it is. The grade will be what it is. But you will either look back on it and say, you know what, I did study my best. I did prepare the best that I could. I tried to be organized. I tried to do the things that would help me do well in the final. Or you look back and say, you know what, I really didn't do things. I didn't do what I should have. I slacked off. I did too much playing video games or whatever instead of studying. Okay? That's the most important thing I want to convey to you. Not the end grade, but the way you got whatever grade you have. If you prepare your best, you do everything you can, you know what? Whatever the grade is, take solace in knowing that you prepared. You didn't leave anything up to chance. Okay? Even if whatever that grade was, he knew he did everything he could. He studied, he used all his resources, went to the library, asked friends. He did everything he could. And so, yeah, he was a little nervous for the grade, but he knew. Hey, I did my part. I did everything I could. So keep that in mind for yourself tomorrow.